I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
It's every Red Raiders' favorite podcast. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
It is Tech Talk on Double T 97.3, DoubleTSportsNetwork.com, and the Double T 97.3 mobile app, brought to you by Happy State Bank. Clint, Taylor, Kyler, we're hanging out with you until 6:30 tonight. A little bonus Tech Talk.
Kyler is almost like a mashup of our two names.
Yeah, okay. Kai.
If it was almost like Kaler.
Kaler.
Or Chlor.
Chlor. This hurts my brain.
Yeah, sorry.
I like mashups. One of you ever play the game when you're on like a road trip?
Probably not.
And you don't seem like a road trip game guy. Before I ask this, I'm still going to. Like you flip. You see how fast you can flip the first letter of words? Like you go, oh, it's Kurgerbing over there. It's one of my favorites.
That must be a Kansas thing.
Get yourself some bottle worker or something like that.
I've never heard of that. No.
Everyone plays it. Everyone plays that in toilet tag.
I'm sure.
Should do it sometime. It's fun.
All right. I'll try it out.
Taylor, Kyler. What did you think of Big 12 Media Days? Anything really stand out to you?
Not a ton. It honestly seemed like, I was thinking this the other day, it seemed like one of the least newsworthy media days in some time. And maybe that's a good thing because, a couple years ago, it was like right before media day when the Texas OU stuff that they were going to leave broke. And then last year it was it's always something, and it's not usually great. And so the fact that there's not a ton, and like honestly, the biggest news of media day maybe in like, what does everyone think of Texas Tech?
Right.
And we've discussed that so much that it's almost like not interesting to us anymore. It's interesting, I guess, what other people have to say. And I know
you're gonna hate hours 2 and 3.
I know the Athletic did a article about like anonymous. What do coaches
anonymous
think?
Coaches? Yeah. Churlish.
Yeah,
my favorite one.
And so to me, that was either the fake youth pastor at Arizona. That's their head coach. That's what I call him.
Fake youth pastor.
Yeah, he acts like a youth pastor, but he's not. I don't know. He's
interesting.
Yeah.
I just honestly, he had a little salt this year. So I hope it was him because, I mean, he's got to have some salt if he's going to keep his job. No one at Arizona likes him.
No.
And it's not his fault. It's not his fault.
I think it is.
You think so?
Yeah. He's not. He doesn't seem like a fun he doesn't seem like a coach to me. That's part of the reason he got the fake youth pastor nickname from me. And then, or I think it was Whittingham or whatever, Utah's coach, Kyle Whittingham.
You think Whittingham was childish?
Just because they don't build a team that way. And so I could see somebody like him who's like, they've kind of built solidly, slowly. Mm-hmm. I could see somebody like him just thinking a shortcut would be a childish way to go about it.
This has been like my favorite thing over the past 12 hours is trying to deduce who and there's some great quotes in that that are also just as negatively viewed. But for some reason, when you start out childish in athletics, you would think, oh, they must have like thrown a tantrum on the field, or boy, they must be running around and like putting their fingers in people's faces and going like nana nana boo boo to these guys, and you're not doing that. No. That's why I've seen Gundy. The one you know who I think it would be hilarious if it was
Sonny.
Is if they got Sonny. I think it'd be funny if it was Sonny for obvious reasons. Yeah. I think it'd be really funny if it was Scott Satterfield because they're like the most vanilla nothing program in the Big 12 right now.
Yeah.
I kind of think it would be funny if it was Fritz over at Houston.
Yeah.
I really think it would be funny if because you had the real quote. If they got like the real quote from Deion Sanders that he had, that one was on stage, by the way. That was an on the stage answer, and they credited it to him. And then they asked him again, like, all right, this is an anonymous one.
Yeah. I don't think he cares about being anonymous.
No, I don't think it is. I just think it would be funny if it was him. But I have enjoyed I enjoyed all the immediately. That was Gundy. Yep, right there. That was Gundy.
Yeah. It's one of, the child. I enjoyed the one that was like, if I had a Cody Campbell, I'd be like having sleepovers at his house. Like there were some good ones in there.
Are you blanking me? That was
yeah.
What do you need, good buddy?
Yeah,
that was great. I'm with you though, because we had this conversation on the Bottom Line yesterday, I think. Yeah, and question was asked, was Big 12 Media Days a dud? And I don't think it was, because if it's a dud because it didn't have this like controversial storyline, then sure, I guess you could view it that way. But it was kind of nice to have that. It's nice to know that is it a perfect conference? No. Are you neck and neck with the SEC and the Big Ten? No, you're not. But you're on solid footing, and it's nice to go in one freaking Big 12 Media Days and go, we can really focus on the football here. Like we can focus on the teams.
Yeah.
I would say the biggest, if you want to say controversial or newsworthy, whatever you want to say, was how it started, and that, Brett Yormark doubled down on the 5-11 format and then started using names and said, I expect Jim Phillips and the ACC to say the same thing. I expect other commissioners to say the same thing. And that was a direct shot to Sankey and Petitti, that you're still putting pressure on the college football playoff format. But still, that doesn't have anything to do with this season. That doesn't have anything to do with, like, is our conference going to be relevant? Is this conference going to be alive in the next couple of years?
Yeah.
And so I kind of liked the breather from that standpoint.
Yeah. It was nice to, instead of just be fighting for our lives, to be having preferences. Because it seemed like I said, 3 years ago, whenever it was, when OU and Texas left, it was like, how are you even going to survive? And then it was like, the next year it was, you added all these schools just to survive, and then it was, the next year's like, maybe you took a media deal that wasn't as good as the other ones, but you did it to survive. And this year it's, here's what we want, like we have survived. So and I think that's what, you heard from basically everybody at Media Days, was here's how we see college football moving forward now that we know we are a part of it, which is nice.
Now that you've survived, how can you thrive?
Yeah.
Totally agree. It is Tech Talk on Double T 97.3.
The podcast that finishes your workday in a very Red Raider way. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
It is Tech Talk on Double T 97.3. Little bonus Tech Talk for you today as we go up to 6:30. Rangers and Astros, starting of the Silver Bowl. Not the Silver Bowl.
Whoa.
They're not going there.
Thinking about it after work.
Time for karaoke with the Silver Boot. Well, I don't know. That was a slip of the tongue there.
It reminds me when I first got into coaching, I had a coach who always talked about Miller Lite sandwiches. Do you know what that was?
No.
3 Miller Lights. You go home and have a couple of Miller Lite sandwiches.
Oh man, that is that feels like home.
Yeah.
That feels like, I haven't heard that before, but it feels like I've heard that where I grew up. 100%. Yeah. I always enjoyed a go-to in our area. It was like hearing some of the farmers like, yep, after this I got a date with PBR.
Right, yes, of course.
Oh, a date. She sounds lovely. Who's PBR? You can hit us up on the 8th Flooring Center chat line. You can also join us on the Visual Edge IT hotline. If you call that number, 806-771-0973. If you call that number, Kyler will tell you what fake snack you should eat. Fun little nickname like that. Again, Astros will be over on 100.7 The Score. Obviously a huge storyline. Taylor, I don't know if you know this, is what you have done in the transfer portal.
I've heard about it.
Have you heard of this class? Heard about it, yeah. Expectations have just blown through the roof, right? We talked about some of the anonymous quote story again today, which again is amazing if you haven't read it on The Athletic. If you do just enjoy the salt And also, again, Gus and I talked about this yesterday, but I really do like the anonymous coach, the anonymous quote, because people will really tell you what they feel about you. And I didn't think everybody thought it was all sunshine and roses, and everybody else in the conference was like, yeah, go Tech, super pumped.
Lots of jealousy.
Yes, but it's nice to see just almost catty from these Big 12 coaches.
Of course.
That is besides the point of what I wanted to get to. One of the guys putting out great quotes about things is Oklahoma State's head coach Mike Gundy, who's always good for a quote. I just complimented him on one yesterday, actually, where he's talking about, hey, we have to make these guys employees. It's happening.
Yes.
Make them employees. I thought it was interesting. I did not see this quote until today. Did you see his thoughts on NIL and Oklahoma State?
I saw them, but I didn't look into them. So let's hear them.
I almost I thought this will go away. Surely this can't last. And then it just kept building momentum. And then after a point, about 18 months ago, I said, this is not going away. We're going to have to make some real adjustments here. So the truth be known, this portal class from January is the first class that we ever bought. We had not bought portal kids.
Wow.
That hurt us.
Yeah.
Hurt us the last year or so from a depth standpoint. And then, and that was nobody's fault. That's not the administration's fault, not the donors. That was really kind of my fault, because what I had done was taken money that had been raised through donations and spread it amongst the troops somewhat evenly to the current players. We didn't go out and solicit for players and pay them to come to our team. We did that starting in December, which I think we all would agree, if you don't do that, you're not going to survive.
Why would you admit that? Why would you say that?
The craziest part about that to me is I thought NIL would go away.
Yeah, the start was not strong.
When has people making money ever been like, we're tired of making money? Like, that's crazy.
And he was one of the ones most vocally against it. And so I'm not like shocked to hear this, but at the same time, like we haven't been doing it at all.
And it also, you see that has played out on the field. Mm-hmm. They weren't good last year. They didn't have the depth and the talent that they needed. That's crazy.
Certainly a quote.
It's a very Gundy quote.
Like very Gundy quote. Very entertaining. I'm here for it. Is he back next year? For whatever reason, I don't necessarily think that has to be. He gets, they go on the same trend and he gets fired, and they buy out the contract or anything like that. I mean, you restructure that contract for a reason. I mean, there's donor stress and pressure from last year for a reason. But I just think it's interesting because we've even talked about Ferentz, who's not in the conference, but we've talked about Whittingham, we've talked about Gundy. And by the way, for Utah, theirs is in a different scenario, even though they didn't have a great year, but they have their coach in waiting contractually. It's not just, oh yeah, the defensive coordinator, he's been there for a while. No, it is in his contract. When he steps down, you're going to the DC as their head coach. But do you think that was a long way still to ask? No. Do you think Gundy's here next year?
What's always been weird about Gundy to me is it's always seemed to be kind of an adversarial relationship between the school and him.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense considering like he played there, he's coached there for a long time. But like there were all like a couple of years ago, there were all these rumors. He interviewed for the Tennessee job, or the boosters wanted him gone, and all this kinds of stuff. And all I could think of, this was when Cliff was the coach, and all I could think of is like, if Cliff had the success that Gundy had, like there would be like one of those lifetime rolling contracts, statue being prepared. Like it's just weird to see a school that I feel like Tech relates with a lot handle something I think totally differently than Tech would. Like I think if a former quarterback, like one of our own, had the success that Gundy has had, like it would, like I said, he would be a lifetime type contract. So that's always been weird to me, how Gundy and Oklahoma State it's always been awkward almost. It's like they've
and
almost,
with a fan base that loves him for the most part.
Yeah, but the administration is always butted heads, like with administration. And so again, you had a long way to get to your question, a long way to get to my answer. I think that administration would look for an excuse to fire him. So like that would lead me to believe that no, he won't. But it all kind of depends on, they're not going to fire him if he wins 7-8 games, I don't think. So.
Hottest seat in the conference, who is it?
The fake youth pastor at Arizona.
Brent Brennan. Yeah, that's where I'd go too.
Yeah.
I think Satterfield's actually in front of Gundy too,
Probably.
personally.
Yeah.
Again, but no, we don't talk about it because nobody's paying attention to Cincinnati over there. But I actually, other side of that, think Cincinnati's going to have a just fine season.
Yeah.
It is Tech Talk on Double T 97.3.
The podcast that finishes your workday in a very Red Raider way. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3. Presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
It is Tech Talk on Double T 97.3, DoubleTSportsNetwork.com, and the Double T 97.3 mobile app, brought to you by Happy State Bank. Thanks so much for joining us. Happy Friday to you. We got this on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Happy Friday to all. Indeed. Isn't that you having a Friday type of feeling today? You're in a weird spot because
every day is Friday.
Every day is Friday.
We were just talking in the break, like I haven't done my hair and I don't know how long.
You don't know what time it is.
I barely know what day it is. Yeah. It's the best. It's the best time of the year.
When does that end? Do you have the countdown?
Well, it's weird. I got a new job, so I don't exactly know.
As a doctor would, a new doctor,
right.
Dr. Taylor Beatles.
So I'm not exactly sure, but it will come to an end sometime in August. So we shall see.
It's like a half countdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't want to know when it ends. Like, don't.
Nobody tell me.
Don't spoil it.
Nobody tell me. It is Clint Scott, Taylor Beatles, and Kyler Brown behind the glass. And DJ Puddin has our play of the day. Take it away, good sir.
1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch. Adoli swings and hits a high drive to deep left field. That ball is way back, and that ball is history. Adolis Garcia clears him off with a grand slam after 4 consecutive strikeouts. Not quite the celebration he had 2 days ago, but another slow jog around the bases as Adolis has broken this ball game wide open. It's 9-2.
We got a 1-1 fastball, and it was a liner into the Crawford boxes. Just a bullet up into those boxes, and how good must that feel for Adolis Garcia?
I'm so excited for this series this weekend. Anytime the Rangers take on the Astros, I just have to reflect on that 2023 championship series. It was awesome. I mean, it's what sports all about. It went 7 games. It was such a great series. And that game 6, that grand slam from Adolis that you just heard, clutch. Very, very clutch.
It is interesting because, you know, on one hand, especially with how recent that was, you're trying to keep that for both sides, that feeling where, I mean, the Astros are certainly there, where coming off being swept or not, they've been playing really good baseball this year, and are going to be one of the favorites at this rate in the AL whenever the playoffs actually hit. But on the other hand, like the Rangers, are you able to, like as a fan, shrug off like, oh, I can't focus on the rivalry, let's just get wins because we play good baseball? Or is it, we can pause that mindset and, you know, you got to get the win somewhere anyway, so I might as well put some extra hate on this with the Astros. Because there's some years I can see, like, I'm not worried, like as a Royals fan, I'm not worried that it's the Tigers. Yes, it's the Tigers, but we're playing so bad, I don't care who it is, I just want them to win. Mm-hmm. And then there's some years where I don't have a lot of Tigers fans, friends. I have one, but I'll certainly let them know about it.
I could be a Tigers fan if you want.
Okay.
All right.
Deal. Well, it's pretty easy to do that right now.
Is it? Are
They're
they good?
Pretty good.
Oh, okay. I feel like...
well, you got Jace there.
That's what I was about to say.
Well, in the system anyways.
But I do feel like you're talking about rivalries. I think it does matter. Like, even if you're bad. Like, it almost matters more, I think.
Mm-hmm. I asked that question. I have that way with other sports. Like, some of the bad Chiefs years, Because I remember rooting extra hard, like please, this final week against the Broncos. If we're gonna only get 5 wins, can one of them be in the final week of the season to knock them down a seed or something like that?
Yeah. Like,
but baseball, you just play so many games.
You do, and so that does matter some. Yeah, I do feel like it adds even like you said, even if you're bad, it's almost like you said, you're almost hoping to play spoiler. You know, Tech football has been in that situation. You know, under like Cliff and Wells, where it was just like, just beat Texas, please. You know,
please.
Yes.
There was an article on ESPN yesterday, speaking of which, I'm curious of your thoughts here. It was their predicted top 25. And also it was who each team's arch nemesis this season will be. Did you happen to see this article?
No, I can find it though.
Well, let me just, if I told you to guess what Tech came in at 16, by the way.
Yeah. That
I'll take it.
That, yes.
Who do you think that what do you think their arch nemesis was? Like, because like LSU's was like day games.
Oh, so not another team.
Okay. So most of them were other teams.
Right.
Some of it was like situation or whatever.
Was Texas situation or another team?
It was a team. I'll give you that hint.
Oh.
It was a team.
I would have guessed situation, so I'm glad I asked. Arizona State?
That would have been a great guess.
But
not it. I'll give you.
No.
You want two? I'll give you 2 more strikes.
Oh, okay. Utah.
Nope. Again, a good guess. I would have.
Kansas State.
Nope.
Huh. Who was it?
Baylor.
Okay. That was gonna. Wait.
Here's the reasoning. Okay.
We don't play Baylor.
I know.
Okay. That's why
I did this yesterday.
Okay.
I was like, unless it's like, okay, they're predicting Tech and Baylor in the Big 12 championship, and they're saying they're going to lose in Arlington and miss the playoff spot or something. Here was their reasoning.
Okay.
Red Raiders coach Joey McGuire got his start in college coaching at Baylor under Matt Rule and was promoted under Dave Aranda. He left in midseason in 2021 when he got the Tech job. While trying to right the ship in Lubbock, he's gone 1-2 against Aranda, including 59-35. A 59-35 home loss last season. Since Mike Leach was fired, the Red Raiders are 5-10 against the Bears, a team they'll need to eclipse with their big ambitions to sit atop the Big 12.
That's a stretch. I was gonna go Baylor, and then I was like, no.
You don't.
We don't play them. Yeah, that's a stretch. Nonsense.
I agreed with all 3 of your guesses before Baylor.
Good. Glad to hear it.
You want to see some others on this list for some Big 12 schools? Let's see. They have BYU at 10, which I thought was interesting.
Was that after the quarterback news?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. You want to guess on theirs?
Yeah.
I'll just give you one.
If it's not Utah, then I don't know
Utah.
what we're doing here. Okay.
Yeah. And they start with it's always Utah in the Holy War. So there you go. Arizona State. This is a situation, not a team.
Replacing Cam Scatterbo.
Essentially, it's regression is what they have on here for them. Iowa State.
Kansas State.
Yeah.
Farmageddon.
I love that's week 1. I'm so in.
Yeah. I
think it's such a tone setter for the Big 12.
I don't mind. I kind of like I wouldn't mind if Tech played the Ireland game. But I don't want to give up a home game. So the other team give up the home game, and I would love to play the Ireland game.
What if I told you you'd still get 6 home games instead of 7? Would you take that trade?
No.
I think I would.
Okay.
I think I would for the national stage.
I don't want to lose a single home game. But I would love to play in that game. I just want it to be on somebody else's home game.
If you for sure got 6, and they were 5 of them were good home games.
Yeah.
And then one of them was here's the lollipop to kind of get you going. I think I'd be in on that.
Yeah. I think that's a reasonable take.
Last Big 12 team on here. I bet you can't guess Kansas State's.
Is it situation or team?
Team.
Iowa State?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, this could potentially be a trick question.
Should have been Kansas, whatever. It's Tech Talk on Double T 97.3.
The podcast that finishes your workday in a very Red Raider way. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3. Presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Hour number 3.5 in total today as we go to 6:30 right here on Double T 97.3. Little silver boot action tonight. Rangers at Astros. You can hear the Rangers call right here on Double T 97.3. If you're looking for the Astros call, they'll go 10 minutes after that. 6:40, 100.7 the score. Hit us up on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Thoughts, comments, questions, bowling thoughts.
No thanks.
You can also call us on the Visual Edge IT hotline, 806-771-0973. Kyler will tell you that version of a 7-10 split. You can also watch us on Fox 34 News Now, YouTube, and Facebook. You can also follow us on social media. Just look up Double T 97.3. We had this question. Let's get to this one first before we get to Mac Leftwich. Clint Scott. Dr. Taylor Beatles. DJ Puddin, Kyler Brown behind the glass, taking care of us. Do you think Oklahoma State did the same thing in baseball as well? And that was Mike Gundy saying that up to this point they never used NIL in the transfer portal because he thought it would go away. And I don't even know if I believe it.
What's so funny about that is, like, Oklahoma State was notorious for, like, here's some cash in a bag in your locker pre-NIL. So it's just funny that, we never did NIL. Like, it's some stance when...
And he hated it.
Right.
Hates it.
Where in the years prior, they were always doing stuff under the table. So it's just funny, like, him trying to take this stance. But I don't know. Their baseball team's still been pretty good.
Yeah. It's hard for me. I would doubt. I don't know, like, what the budget or anything like that is, but it would be hard for me to believe that, as someone who has put the time in for the facilities and put the time in to try to be one of the leaders in the conference for baseball, that they weren't dabbling in NIL for baseball at all.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Gundy can speak for...
No, definitely not.
And he was using NIL. It was just he was using what was available, as he said, amongst the troops that were there, spreading the wealth, and not what he was adding. That's what he was saying.
Yeah,
so it's not like he wasn't using NIL. And so that's more of to each his own, I guess, for the coach there, for whatever sport, of how they're going to handle dipping into the portal or not. And so, yeah, they didn't do that in baseball. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what their budget is like fully over there, but you would think that would be on the higher end in the Big 12.
Wasn't that reported as part of his, like, contract renegotiation, that he would like, some of the money that they saved from his contract was going to NIL?
Yeah,
wasn't there something like that?
Yeah, that was so weird.
So it may have been a situation where it was like, you're going to do this if you still want to coach here.
Well, he finally used the word in that quote, adapt. He's never used that word.
Yeah. That's what's always made me furious for years, that a guy who, like, in my opinion, does a lot of things the wrong way. Like, he will absolutely punt on, the other team's 45, 4th and 2. He will absolutely punt. And he plays the game like that. And I hate that for years he's been rewarded for, in my opinion, playing the game the wrong way. And so, like, every bit of Oklahoma State failure under him, I rejoice in, because.
But it hasn't had that much.
I know. Last year was so great, even though the Tech game against them was so frustrating.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but it ended up fine. Obviously, that's one. Like, I can remember several games, like, throughout my fandom, where I've hated every second of a win, which is not it's not really a good way to enjoy a sport. But that's just who I am. That was one of them. Like,
well, you had 2 last year. ACU. I hated every second of that win.
Yeah.
No one felt good after the win either.
Yeah.
Because it didn't feel like you won the game because of who you were playing and how it happened.
Non-con under McGuire has been kind of a ride. I mean, under Wells as well.
3 blowouts this year.
Yeah.
Taylor, did Leftwich call plays at Texas State? I'm talking with a buddy, and he was saying he's worried about Leftwich making this jump and how he didn't call plays Eric Morris did. I told him I'm pretty sure Matt called plays the last 3 years with Kinney, but I'm not positive.
He did call plays, but I think that I am also worried about the jump. I think he's good at what he does. It's one of those things where somebody asked me earlier today, actually, what are some things you're worried about heading into the season, and that's one of them. Just because there's not a ton of experience, because he has worked under kind of offensive-minded head coaches, and so there's naturally going to be a lot of input on play calls, on scheme from the head coach. But I also think we've seen this at basically every level of football, that offensive coordinators are somebody like they don't always need a lot of growth. Like Joe Brady jumped on. I know that LSU roster was insane, but he basically came out of nowhere and was looked at as like an offensive genius, and it's kind of built outside of the Panthers stint, has kind of built on that reputation. Like he's been awesome for the Bills, and so I am worried about it, but it's not like in my top 5 probably. But I absolutely think it's something to note. Is like, this guy is young, he's new at this. This is you're jumping up maybe 2 levels if you think about it. You could go to like group of 6 or whatever it is now. But I think,
I guess the good news is for the bulk, it hasn't been against these opponents, but you had, like last year, does call a game against Arizona State
plays
and calls a good game.
Yeah.
But can you do that for 9 games in the Big 12?
And you're going against better defensive coordinators week after week who will figure out, like, you're going to have to make several adjustments to what you do based off how defenses react to you. So it's a question for sure.
It is a question.
Fair question.
Yeah. Just kidding. More Tech Talk next.
It's every Red Raiders' favorite podcast. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3. Presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Clint Scott, Dr. Taylor Beatles.
You don't have to say it like that.
I thought you yelled at me just like Gus did.
I would never. So. You know that.
I've never heard you raise your voice.
You're spreading misinformation again.
I've never heard you yell, which is shocking because I usually get that reaction from just about everybody.
I do yell.
Really?
I've been known to yell.
Are you a not a loose candle? You have a short fuse? A loose cannon is what that's called?
Right.
A loose cannon.
I was in my younger years.
Really?
Still been known to pop up from time to time.
You a rage monster?
Meet me out at the indoor soccer field, and you'll get a little bit more of a glimpse into that.
I did forget you're a major soccer fan, so you can't be like calm if you're going to go to Tottenham.
Correct. Need some hooliganism.
Hooliganism?
Yeah.
Is that a word?
Yeah.
All right.
Trust me. I'm a doctor.
How many times have you used that now?
That's honestly the first time.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Kyler Brown behind the glass taking care of us. Hooliganism. Did you see on 3? Obviously, there's no media poll. We have a Raymar Double T 97.3 media poll, which is still up. If you want to find out what we think of how the conference will work out this year.
And you picked Kansas State to win.
No, I did not.
That's what you're
going to draw me offsides. I'm going to yell at you.
You were just telling me in the break how good they were.
I think I had a different phrase on Kansas State. But On3 did have a Anonymous. Here we go. Anonymous word again. They asked all 16 Big 12 head coaches. They didn't say rank them, but they said vote who will play in the title game and who will win it. So obviously you're going to get some runner-up votes and you're going to get some champion votes. Have you seen this poll?
I have.
What did you think of it?
I think that it's mostly just giving people benefit of the doubt than an actual look at what is going to happen. Because that's the one with Utah kind of up there, right?
No.
Oh, there's one out there with Utah really high. I thought it was that one.
Here is how the Big 12 coaches voted. Kansas State
got
got the most total votes and the most champion votes. They got 8 total votes, 6 of them to win the league, 2 to be the runner-up. My favorite part of this is Iowa State got the second most votes.
That's right, yeah.
They got 7 votes. Nobody picked them to win it.
Yes, that's right. Okay.
They did the Campbell pick.
Yes. Okay.
I saw that.
Yes. I did see that one. I did see this one. Okay.
They can get there, but
yes.
Arizona State got 6 total. They got 4 to win, which was the second highest for the win total. They also got 2 runner-ups there. Texas Tech got 5 total, 3 to win it, 2 to show up to Arlington. TCU, I thought this one was interesting. TCU got 3 votes, 2 to win it, 1 runner-up. By the way, you couldn't vote for your own team.
Yeah. I don't see that one at all.
I don't either. Baylor got 1 champion, 1 runner-up, which I also thought was interesting because, I don't know, a lot of people are high on Baylor. I think they're going to be really good this year.
I don't.
Okay, we'll get to that in just a second. Because the last one is Utah got 1 vote, and it was to show up and then be the runner-up, which that's about where I am with them.
Yeah.
So, before we get to Baylor, Kansas State, biggest vote of confidence from this.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on the Wildcats?
I think you're, like I said, you're leaning on a little bit of reputation there.
I called it a cowardice pick.
Yeah, you did. I just would like to see Avery Johnson be good instead of just talked about as being good.
Yes. And I know that's hard around here because when we saw him in Lubbock 2 years ago, yes, he was good. Shredded you, but
not at throwing the football.
No, you just couldn't stop him, and they were just running it up the middle.
We'd never seen wide zone before.
Like last year, no one had seen the wheel route.
Yeah. Yes.
Couldn't track anything to a running back out of the backfield. We forgot how to cover.
Yes.
For some reason, Rob and I have talked about that. That like popped up, and all of a sudden, that's been something that's been ran forever in college football.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many times I tuned into a game on Saturday and would see that pop off for like 30 yards. And it's like
the problem with,
anyways,
against Texas Tech specifically is a lot of times the offenses would scheme it up to where Ben Roberts was the guy. And Ben Roberts is very good going downhill and making tackles. He struggles turning and running. But with Kansas State, like I said, I need to see Avery Johnson be good for like a couple of games in a row. And then I would also, when was the last time Matt Wells called plays?
I know, and that's the other thing that like no one is paying attention to up there because it was co-OC even up to this point.
He did not call plays.
And it wasn't calling plays. No. And
I think that's kind of crazy, honestly. And I also think they're putting a lot of stock into Deron Bradley, who we know pretty well. And then did nothing at Boston College.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a nothing burger there with the
I have a hard time trusting receivers who don't win on separation.
Especially with a quarterback who struggles throwing the ball specifically to the type of routes he's going. Right. You would expect him to be running.
Because when you think of guys who don't win like on separation at like the highest level, you're thinking of like, DeAndre Hopkins, Dez Bryant. Those are guys who are like freaks athletically. Like they may not be like quick twitch, but they're basically basketball players. I don't like Deron Bradley is tall, but we saw here him struggle. And who knows? Maybe he's it's been a wake up call. Who knows? But I know that they are.
Wake me up.
I know that they're counting on him a lot.
Wake me up inside.
And so honestly, like me being skeptical of Kansas State may have too much of like a Texas Tech bend because I've I know Matt Wells, I know Jerron Bradley, and those are two people that they are like depending on, and I don't have a high opinion of either one of them. So that may be like a me problem.
Well, but the other side too is like, okay, well, what about the running game? How much do we trust Dylan Edwards, young running back? He had a solid year last year, but DJ Giddens was by far the best piece of that offense.
I think that's where I will just trust Kansas State, that they will have good offensive linemen.
And don't get me wrong, I think that they're going to be good,
Yeah.
and I think they'll be hanging around by the top. But like to be like the runaway favorite,
That
I
is
just
kinda
think
crazy.
is wild to me.
Yeah.
Ha! Wild cat. It's
You're the worst.
Oh, you missed it, Dr. Tay-Tay.
If you say so.
Oh, I know it. That's Tech Talk coming up next on WT 97.3.
This has been the Tech Talk Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.